Really very nice.
Guys, I just want to thank you all so much for coming out to another one of our speaker series events. My name is Angela LaRocca, and I'm the brand manager here at Unidev. These two gentlemen are our panelists tonight. We've got Jason Noble and Sean Oliver. A little bit about Sean. Sean has a great background, 10 plus years in e-commerce. He's going to share a lot about design, development, email marketing, and he's worked on several really impressive projects locally here for things like Network Solutions, Build-A-Bear, CPI.
My name's Sean. I already told you guys that, but I'm going to talk about planning your approach to setting up an e-commerce store. First thing I would like to talk about is studying your market. So what do we need to do to study our market to make sure that there's going to be a viable option for us to sell products online or sell a service online? And one of these things I like to look at, one of these metrics I like to look at is quality of the site. Going to the site, looking at it, looking at the look and feel of the site, whether or not it's something that catches your attention, whether or not you have appeal to the site. That's very important. Angela works in branding. Image is everything these days. So, going to the site, looking at it, is this site something that interests me? This is one of the metrics that you need to look at. Another thing we can look at is PageRank. PageRank is basically a number assigned to your site by Google, Yahoo, Bing, and it determines your authority on the website. So having a high PageRank is going to overall help your success for selling products, selling information, services. So most sites out there are 3 to 4. So you pretty much see sites out there with a PageRank of 3 to 4. If you're hitting up a site like Walmart, they're going to probably be at a PageRank 5. So competing with a website like Walmart is going to be rather difficult. It's going to take a lot more than just building a website and deciding you're going to sell products online. So checking out the PageRank, looking at your competitors, looking at their PageRanks, looking at your market, seeing what their rank is going to determine whether you have a viable option to compete in that market.
And Sean, can you just clarify when you say PageRank, is that when they're typing in their company in Google, how many numbers down they show up?
No, okay, so PageRank is actually, like I said, it's a number assigned by the Google, Yahoo, and Bing of the level of authority your site has. And there's a number of different things they look at to determine that number. They look at inbound links. How many inbound links are coming into the site? They look at, paid listings too. Paid listings determines your PageRank. Is there enough demand for your product? The best way to measure online demand is what we use, or at least I use, is Google Keyword Tool. So get online and see what people are searching for. It's funny, I'll go online and I'll look at a key term and there'll be a search volume of like 60,000 and nobody's targeting that keyword. If I knew I had a product around that search term, I could be the #1 person for that specific search term. So looking at Google's keyword tool is a great way to see if you have some flexibility there, and if you can build a business around that specific. Social platforms. So social media presence. Looking at your competition's social media presence. What platforms are they using? Facebook, Twitter. How often do they interact with their customers? You go look at their social sites, and if they're only posting once a month, you have a lot of opportunity there. I could be posting something every day. And I think that's the hardest thing for our customers is they come to us and they want us to write the content for them. And we love doing that because we're very creative people here, and we love writing content. But it's got to be something you got to do all the time. People are not going to come back to your Facebook or your social page if you don't have updated, good content that's going to drive them back to the site. Social media presence is a good way to determine whether your competition is doing it right and whether you have an opportunity to compete. So definitely we'll look at that as a factor. Next one is test before you invest. This is very important. You don't want to start a whole campaign, a website, an e-commerce website especially. There's a lot that goes into it before you test. And everybody asks me, well, what are ways we can test that? Well, a blog. Start a blog, find out who people are interested in your products, get the communication going, create a buzz. create a buzz about your products. If people don't know about your products and not really interested in your products, it's going to be harder to sell online. You don't want to realize that down the road. So definitely something that, we handle here. We try to go through all those things as part of our strategy for our marketing approach as well. Plan your content. This is a big thing. So, you can build a site, and e-commerce sites don't really have a whole lot of content. They have SKUs, product descriptions. So, creating static pages of content that are going to bring people to your site, and not only just bring people to your site, but when I go to a website and I look at the content, I want to make sure that this company is the authority for the products and services they're selling. They have to woo me over. If they're not wooing me over in their content, and they're not giving me information that I think is relevant to the product that I'm buying, I'm not going to hang around. So these are things that you can look at on your competitor's website as well and determine whether they're doing it right. I don't know, I've been in the industry for a while, but I go to YouTube all the time. I always research products that I'm buying on YouTube, believe it or not. I want to see real customer reviews. I want to know about the product I'm buying. I can go to their website and sometimes, they'll say it's the best product and everybody's using it, but I actually go to YouTube and do my research. So I think YouTube and these, Vimeo and stuff like that, they're very important tools that you can showcase your products and actually have real live customer reviews about your products. And then linking that traffic back to your website, that's what does it, that's what drives business to your site and drives trust, and authority for the products you're selling. So last thing I'm going to talk about is just responsive and mobile design, which I've already kind of talked about that, and making your e-commerce store responsive. 1.2 billion people accessing the web from their mobile devices each day. That's just such a large number. Jason's got his own online store. I've had my own online store. That's such a large number, and it's just growing. So if you're not making your e-commerce website responsive, you're really not doing yourself any justice.
Jason Noble here has a background in managing web programs, teams of developers, and lots of creative resources. He's worked in sales, in account management, and in project management. So Jason is a project resource manager here with us.
Cool. Thank you, Angela. Yes, e-commerce isn't anything new. I don't want to bore you guys too much with any definition of really what it actually is, but to think about it, it's selling products online. It really is it's a way of getting on the internet and doing your thing with products, and it really allows you to exchange your goods without having people to go through into your store. So no matter what size your business is, you're able to get online and really compete with those bigger boxier Walmarts of the world. Some fun facts about e-commerce is that it has been rapidly growing. I would say in the last 10 years, but there's been a pretty rapid rate here in the last 5 years, and a lot of people are assuming that it's going to either stay that rate or even accelerate here pretty soon. So if you're looking to get online, now is definitely the time to do it. You don't have to worry about having to have got online in 2000. You can definitely get online now and still feel that you can compete with your competitors. A lot of people use open source. It's a free solution. It allows you to work with an open source community to get what you need, whether it be plugins or modules. If you're looking more for a solution that's a little more done for you, really intuitive on the back end, you pay for those solutions, and those are proprietary solutions. So when thinking about what you'd like to do, think about your business and think about your level of technical experience with, or whoever's going to be working online, their level of technical experience on what you're going to be, when deciding what system or what source you guys want to use. By the numbers, just to kind of put it all in perspective, e-commerce is $157.1 million in just U.S. purchases last year. What you need when going online, outside of your overall marketing strategy and outside of the approach that Sean talked about, what are some of the necessities? Well, of course, you need product. And I know we're all business owners in here, and we all have our products. When you think of your product, does it make sense to go online? Does it make sense to take your product online? When you looked at your competition and you looked at what you sell and how you sell it, Will online increase your profitability? Will it increase the awareness? Will it promote your brand? Something to think about is, what are your profit margins? When you go online, I do want to say, naturally, there's a lot more competition. So there could be a case where you might not make as much money selling your products online because you're trying to be competitive. So think of your profit margins. When you're going online, think of your advertising budgets. It's not easy to rank on the first page of Google right away. Search engine optimization takes a little while to kick in. So something to supplement that would be paying for visitors. So paid search. So when you think of going online, think of what's my advertising going to be or my advertising budget going to be for my products. And then something I'll cover a little bit down here is time. It's quite a while to get these things started. So think of the time that you'd like to invest in your store. I'm not sure what everyone's situation is, if you guys are the manufacturers, if you guys are retailers, if you guys are distributors, but think of your fulfillment process. If you are drop shipping, think of the relationship you have to set up with your drop shipper. And if you are the manufacturer, think of the process that you'll probably need to create for online orders only. If you're a manufacturer, you're probably used to sending your orders to larger retailers, and a lot of those are in bulk. Well, if you're going to go, and a lot of manufacturers are doing this anymore, if you're going to go online and compete directly with your retailers sometimes, you're going to be sending one-off orders to around the country. So that could be a totally different process that you go through to fulfill those orders. And then same thing with brick and mortars. If you have a brick and mortar location, you're used to people coming through the door and purchasing and seeing your inventory kind of leave that way. When you're online, you could have 100 orders in a day and find out about it that night. So, or 5, however, whatever the traffic might look like. So what's your process to fulfill these orders as they happen? Another point is, when you think of going online, think of the software that you're going to need. We touched on this a little bit earlier, but think of what shopping cart you want to use. If it is going to be open source or if it's going to be proprietary, there's a lot of advantages of both. A lot of them fit within different budgets. And think of another software like your accounting. Think of are you going to integrate QuickBooks with your store so that it does match up with maybe your ERP system that you're using to kind of keep track of things through the brick and mortar. And then finally, or the next, I don't have it listed here, but I thought about it as I was sitting at my desk. Is the time. It does take. Time is an entire bullet that I did not put up there, but you really should think about. Think about the store setup and kind of your expectations with setting up the store. Building product pages, uploading products, uploading images, setting up your store policies, your administrative settings on the back end. And if you're using an open source, a lot of this stuff is a little bit more technical to deal with when trying to integrate all that information into a store. So kind of, I guess, get your mind in a state where you're ready to spend a bit of time working on this store. It's like building it just virtually. Establish a merchant account. So everyone wants to get paid, obviously, for any sales that go on online. And the way that works is you have to build a relationship with a merchant account. And so you have your bank account where all your money is going to flow into. And how it works online is you're going to want to work with I would recommend someone like Authorize.net if you're thinking about one, which is a very, very large payment gateway. I just talked to them the other day, and I was working with a little bit lesser known payment gateway that was kind of giving us trouble integrating it into the shopping cart that we were working with. And so I just wanted to see what my options are when calling Authorize.net. And something that really stuck out to me was, number one, they're huge, and so a lot of they integrate with a lot of different shopping carts. But the second thing is that they'll beat any price. It's one of those, they're so big that they'll match anything. So they're like, who are you working with? What's your percentage they're taking out? And what are your fees? We'll meet that. So just go ahead and sign up. Just depending on, I think depending a lot on the payment gateway provider, you could look anywhere between 2 to 4 days. So I mean, if you had a sale on Monday, expect to see that money in your account by Wednesday. And if it's later than that, you might want to give them a call. Set up that account. do your research and figure out, who are the best rate, or who has the best rates. You'll probably find Authorize.net will match it or beat it. So that's probably who I'm going to promote here tonight. And then finally, you want to protect your store. So the way you protect your store from robbers is to get what we call a secure socket layer. SSLs do a couple of things. Technically, they encrypt all the information that goes back and forth between the web server and the browser. And so there's different levels of SSLs. They don't really sell these anymore, but there's a 40-bit SSL, a 60-bit SSL, 128, I believe, and then a 256. All those numbers mean is that as you get higher in the number, the encryption becomes more complicated. And there's more combinations and variations of useless information that they turn your useful information into that people have to try to hack into to make sense of. So technically, you're protecting all of your customers' information, like their credit card numbers, any interaction they have with your website. And then visually, I don't shop anywhere that doesn't have an SSL. And anyone really should, because the internet is an easy place to hack information from. And so by having that secure shopping site logo or that HTTPS in your browser, you can see it whenever you're looking at the website name. Instead of it's saying HTTP, it'll have an S at the end of it. You'll know that your connection's secure. And what you want to do as a business owner is you want to display that credibility. You want to build that confidence in your customer to know that they can shop with confidence, and it kind of legitimizes your business a bit too. That you've gone out of your way to sign up with a certification and let people know that, hey, shopping is secure here. But that's really what, again, outside of your marketing approach and your strategy, those are just some basics of things to keep in mind when going online. Google Analytics is my go-to when it comes to that portion. Sorry.
That's okay.
But there is actually, it's in testing. I think it's or in beta. There is a behavior or demographic kind of tool that you can use now to see more information about your customers. When I think small business and I think of really getting into that much detail, I wouldn't go there. I personally, even with some of the tools that make it really simple, it just seems like you're going to be spending a lot of time really trying to figure that part of your business out, when I could be maybe spending a little bit more time on something that is just more proven to gain me business. I give it to the people who have the time or maybe have those resources to do that, but it's the numbers are actually even pretty small about the people who are converting from Facebook or converting from a social platform. It's just not there yet for me to want to put that much more time into analyzing that information. So from a small business point of view, where your time is very valuable and you have to kind of utilize it the best you can, I personally would probably focus in other areas to figure out how I can gain more business than the behavioral tools that are probably out there on the social platforms. To give you an idea, a little idea, how many people have used Google Analytics in here? Yeah. Okay, cool. It's my go-to as well. It's you now no longer, I'm pretty sure you guys seeing this as well, you can no longer, if you're not logged, or is it if you are logged into Google, one or the other. If you're logged into Google, I believe it can track everything you're doing, but if you're not logged into Google and you're on my website, it will say not set. Have you guys seen that whenever you're looking to see how many people are coming to my site and where they're coming from, it'll be a category that just says not set, or just it won't give you any information about these people. And I believe those are either people who are logged into their Google accounts or not logged in, but one or the other. But they just passed, this was just maybe within the last year, that people are, it's kind of, you're not able to see exactly everything they've used to get to your site, like keywords and where they're coming from and things like that, because they're either logged in or not logged in. So they're kind of protecting your privacy a little bit more that way, but it's making it more difficult for us to kind of figure out where you're coming from and what we need to do to get you there. Finally, as part of our wrapping up, I want to talk a little bit about what Unidev does for their clients or does for our clients and how we might be able to help. When coming to Unidev for your e-commerce needs, things to keep in mind is that you will have an experienced and dedicated e-commerce development team. So again, we're either working with an open source platform or working with another. Our guys are very experienced working with all types of languages online, so PHP, ASP, all that fun stuff that e-commerce sites are built in. And we're very used to uploading product and grabbing spreadsheets and converting them and doing all the tedious things that go into building a store. You'll have me, a dedicated project manager, who now can talk, because when I first started this presentation, I couldn't speak. But I'm getting more comfortable. But you'll have me here, and I will be dedicated to your account, to your project. I know. This water isn't water. I'll be that person for you, or someone on our team will be there for you to be that one point of contact here at Unidev and kind of help coordinate everything from gathering information from you and making that project timeline and making everything work based on your schedule. And then our marketing efforts, we do have a marketing team that it's daunting to think about all the things you do have to do to try to get your site caught up to speed if it's a new site, or to develop your current site to be more competitive with what's already out there. And our marketing team's there to help out. And then finally, we do have a support staff. So if we are building something for you from scratch or from the beginning, we'll teach you, we'll train you how to use it. If we're working with something you already have that you want us to help better and build upon, then we'll become experts at it if we're not already, and we'll make sure that we're here for you, just like Angela said, 24/7, if need be. Hopefully you're not. Yeah, hopefully you're not up at 1 o'clock in the morning.
I'll be
calling.
in bed.
Yeah. So we're very well set up to handle all these projects and make your business a little bit better.